right, everybody, what's going on? I'm sorry about that feedback. This is a mistake that the engineer is making. Tonight, we got a really big show tonight. We want to talk about something that people tend to want to avoid, Black history. For some reason, the United States here in America wants to avoid teaching young people Black history, the truth about Black history. So tonight, we have a collaboration show between Truly Outspoken and Revolutionary Talk. These are a bunch of really, really outspoken people who are very in tune with what's going on in society and who focus heavily on Blackness. So I just want to open up the dialogue for you guys. You know what I mean? What do you guys think about what's going on in society right now with the educational system and why they're trying to make laws to prevent our young people from learning the truth about Black history? What do you think, Lucky?
you would start on this side. Well, you know, I'm gonna go back to the quote, the conversation I had. They call me critical race theory. I don't have a problem with them getting rid of critical race theory mainly for one simple reason. Nothing that happened to Black and brown people in America, there's no theory behind it. It's all fact.
But what does critical race theory mean? What does that mean?
They ended it with theory,
Explain.
which means it's not a fact.
Okay.
And everything that happened to us is a fact.
Okay.
So I have no problem with them getting rid of theories.
Okay. Okay. Camille, what do you think about that?
I think we don't have enough information as it is in school with Black History Month. I'm not understanding what exactly are they taking away. What is it that they're? I mean, it's like Black history to us is every day.
Right.
So how are you going to deny what we already see, and then you're going to tell us to go to school, have kids go to school and act like what is going on in society ain't what's going on? It just doesn't make sense to me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Kintu, what do you think about that, man? They're trying to keep us from. Well, let me just rephrase the question a little bit. One of the things they said that they're trying to not give all this information to all the students because they felt that some people may be offended. What does that mean to you?
It really just basically means we need to. It's more of a sign that we need to take our kids out of the school system.
Interesting.
The public school system is more of, at the end of the point, they doing social engineering right now.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's social engineering. They trying to erase their just our people and take their blame out of it at the end of the day. So down the road, kids will grow up not knowing what happened, and then they can always claim like no fault down the road.
Right.
You know, I think it's got to do a lot of social engineering going on.
Jessica, my
Yeah.
sister. Yeah, I know you got a lot of thoughts about this. Jessica, I'm not sure if you have a child in school, do you?
Mhm.
Okay, you have a child in school.
8th grader.
So is your 8th grader being taught Black history that you know of?
Not that I know of. I know when she was in 6th grade, she was, because her history teacher was my sister.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going today. I don't think so. But they taught that at home.
Right.
So they never, growing up, we never were taught, true Black history anyway. I think what they're not necessarily taking out Black history, they're taking out white shame more than
Really?
because they don't want to be held accountable for the atrocities that they've done to our people. Imagine growing up and you finding out your ancestors were
Right.
a bunch of rapists and thieves and murderers, and that's all there is to your history. So into our history, we persevered and we pressed forward, and y'all continue to steal, and y'all continue to beat down on groups of people whenever you see them doing a little bit better than you. So
we got the right people on the show tonight.
That's what I feel like, the whole critical race theory is. It's not necessarily taking out Black history. It's taking out, they want to take out their shame. They want to take, and I wouldn't, to rephrase necessarily shame, because I don't think they're necessarily ashamed of it. It gained them the privilege and power that they have now.
Right.
They wouldn't have it if they didn't do what they did back then. But I think, we at a time where everybody is offended by every damn thing. So, somebody probably, your little first grader come home crying, oh, crazy, that's not who you said that man was.
Right.
And that's who he is. He's a murderer. He's a rapist. He's a killer, So I think that's the reason why they want to pull that information, you know, out of school.
So let me ask, and this is for anybody on the panel. So out of all the things that have happened, I mean, when we don't tell, or we omit things, let's say we're omitting, right? Certain aspects of Black history. When we omit, and then the children, like you just said, the children find out from other ways that what they taught, not necessarily was a lie, but it was a watered down.
Mm-hmm.
They can almost feel victimized by that because the questions may come up. A curious child may ask, well, why weren't they teaching this in history? And then they start to question what's true and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
That can have a long-term effect. What do you guys think?
Well, I say for me, it's, I mean, it's once my eyes were open, I realized that, you know what I'm saying, is everything, it was watered down and falsified what they were teaching in school. I took it upon myself and started teaching my children myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, is, like I say this, you done seen the pictures of my bookshelf. You know what I'm saying, I showed you some of the books I brought with me tonight.
Right.
So it's, when like you said, the critical race theory, how I feel about it is, so they finally decided, they woke up and decided, we're gonna stop lying to people.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it. When they talk about critical race theory, they just say, cause it's, come on, I mean this, the little stuff, like for instance, Martin Luther King.
Right.
They scratch, you know what I'm saying, what they've been teaching every year since he got assassinated,
Right.
scratches the surface
Right.
of Martin Luther King. They scratched the surface of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
So it's like, so they just, you know what I'm saying, is they just decided, we gonna decide to stop lying. I mean, that's the only way I can see it. They decided they're gonna stop lying.
So what about, okay, let's talk about American history period. We all know, you know, just us, just being in our circumstance or our ancestry, right? You can't teach American history without including Black history. There's no way in the world it's going to be filled with anything. So if they're saying that certain people will be offended, right? Let me just scratch that question. Let me go back to the original topic. The original topic is, should white folks be afraid of Black history?
I just think they're trying to cause confusion because you're going to have
So it's deliberate.
some Black communities teaching their kids, you know, what Black history is, and then you're going to have those that are just going to, they may not have the time to teach the true nature of how they may not have the opportunity to teach their child after school what Black history is actually. So
but the
you'll
question
have
is,
different perspectives of it. So to me, it's a way of getting more Black people to kind of support their ideas as far as Black history if they're teaching it in a certain way in school, versus now where you have a lot of Black people who do feel like it's bullshit.
So Black people have been impacted by the negative history, right? We're victims of it. You know, we shouldn't walk around feeling victimized. It's time to change things, right? But my question is, you know, should white people fear Black history? Because there was some good stuff. We made some good contributions, you know, to this country alone. You know, a lot of the inventions, through the arts, through athletics. We've done a lot of really good things in this country, you know what I'm saying? So, but will that information be excluded as well? Or are they just trying to keep out of the children's ears the atrocities that happened with the civil rights movement, with slavery and all of that?
So to answer your question, should white people fear Black history? If that history is going to allow us to obtain the knowledge to be more powerful and for us to grow as a people, then yes, they should, because that fears that changes their power dynamic. Right. And they do fear it, because that's why they're doing what they're doing. This is out of fear. This is not out of you know, oh well, we just don't want people to be offended. I really do think it's out of fear, because Black people are starting to wake up a little bit more, even though, you know, we might go a little here, slow down, start over, or whatever may have you. But more Black people are starting to be more, we're having a little bit more racial pride and becoming more conscious. And white people are in fear of that. They've always been in fear of Black people coming together. They love it when we shooting each other. They love it when we fighting each other. They don't care about that. They don't care to stop that. But they will go out of their way to stop Black unity. They will fight tooth and nail to stop Black people uniting. So I feel like, yeah, they should fear it, because it attacks their existence.
Kintu, I'm sorry, Kintu, do you think that white folks should be afraid of our history?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they are. They should, but I think the issue is that we expect them to want to put our history in their schools.
Right.
The question is, I'm surprised they waited this long to go this far.
Right.
They really doing what's in their best interest. Their interest is to suppress us and keep us with a
Because they
slave.
can't stop anything else. So we feel it would stop by giving the information. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They playing the game how it should be playing. If they want to control a group of people, you control the information. So all of this shouldn't be a shock to. Well, it may be a shock to some people, but this is good overall. This is just bring to light of how they feel and more of a sign that we need to start figuring out alternative ways to get our kids out of the public school system and figure out collective ways to raise and educate our kids in the interest of Black people.
Okay. Lucky, you about to say
Yeah.
something? Camille,
Mm.
okay, what about the victims? You know, because of the negative impact of Black history, we're the victims of it, right? Our ancestors were the ones who were victimized by it.
I got
So-
my I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, you got it. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, I don't really they don't, you said should white people fear Black history?
Right.
No, they shouldn't fear it, but at the same time, they don't fear it. What they fear is our progress. And
Okay.
the more
But they benefit from our progress. They can really benefit.
But we're not benefiting from our progress. Well, we're not benefiting. When I say they fear our progress, the more we know about our history, the more we understand what we can accomplish.
I agree.
Because right now, America, the system is set up
Right.
where we need them.
Okay.
When we truly wake up and understand we do not need them.
Right. So for progressive whites who feel that history is important, some do. I ain't saying they all do. Because I know
Do they really?
Kintu had, look at Jessica.
Do they really?
Well, you know something. I
Do
think
they?
some of the progressive whites.
I do
Do-
because I do feel like they do because at the end of the day, they're not winning anyway.
Right.
They're, I mean, you could suppress our history, you're still not winning. Y'all still won't get yourself fix your water. You won't do anything productive. You won't even fix your own education system for your own communities. So,
Jessica, you had something to say?
Mm.
You had that look. Like, I got you on camera. Kintu, what do you think about that?
Man, I had a good. I'm had.
You doing a lucky?
Yeah, I'm doing a lucky thing right now.
So, right.
So what was that last one? So you said what was it again? Running.
Well, I was talking about the victims.
Okay.
Well, no, I was talking about
progressive
whites.
The progressive white. Yeah, there we is. What would you call a progressive white?
I mean, who are in tune, at least have an understanding of our plight.
I mean,
If that's the case, they all progressive white because they all understand our plight.
Well, you know, well,
No, they're all aware of it.
They all aware.
They
But
aware.
some are in denial that it even existed.
But
Like-
they're aware of it.
Yes.
Well, okay.
They all
They
aware
aware
of
it's a
it.
problem. You can't walk around America and I understand there's a race issue in this country, and it
Right.
always has been a race
Right.
issue in this country. Whether or not no matter what side of the fence you may be on, where some say, we complain too much and we were never slaves and all that bullshit.
Right.
And then you got the people who understand that, slavery has that is the start, and that is how we got to where we are now. Because hell, Jim Crow wasn't that long ago.
It really was.
Even progressive whites now they're really not on board with teaching the true history. They more on board of learning about it and forgetting about it at the same time. I think the progressive whites and your conservative whites, they all on board with suppressing the true history.
Go
but
ahead, Jessica. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Jessica.
she can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
do you think it's possible that more of the racist whites are preventing the progressive whites to really have a voice?
They do. They
They
all
would like
have.
to.
They both have a
So-
voice.
Because
I think they
the
would like to.
racist whites
Because-
really ain't all that smart.
But-
Because the true racist whites really ain't all that
But-
smart.
They're the
Based on
ones,
English.
but they're the ones that people like align with to put out there because they're not all that smart, but they are more about money.
That's where I want to go. You just hit it on the nail. Economics.
Right.
What's the economic value of suppressing Black history?
That's a good thing you brought that up because I'm gonna tie it into progressive white people, and the
Okay.
reason, and that's why I say
Okay.
I don't really fall for that progressive white
I'm
BS.
sorry.
And I say that because of the simple fact I never forget I was at a poetry reading, and it was I'm real keen on keep your ass out of Black people business. But anyway, that wasn't my event. So that wasn't my event. We were talking about Black owned businesses.
Right.
And the white guy was like, well, I don't think that that's the solution. I don't think that that's, and you know, and he may be somebody who consider progressive whites. We got to understand that this is us.
Right.
And what may be progressive, you know, progressive to them is putting a Black Lives Matter sign in their yard and greeting your ass when you go outside to walk your dog. And then after that, they be like, Black Lives Matter. That's progressive to them.
But they did come out and support Black Lives Matter when it was. Yeah, they did come out and support, and they stood in front. I mean, a lot of them showed up, so I don't feel like there's
that. But I get what you're saying, and in that aspect, and that's the aspect of us being murdered. That's not an aspect of us owning our own. That's not an aspect of us owning property. That's not an aspect of us growing and building and becoming financially successful. That's the aspect of we don't shoot them, you know. It's a line when we start talking about progressive whites because it's wrong for y'all to shoot them, but I don't want to be rich like me. So it's a very gray area with progressiveness. And two, and I went to some protests and they was, you know, shooting them damn bags. And a girl was running and she was saying she jumped in front of somebody. She's like, I use my privilege. They out there for a damn token. Some of them not out there just to be in the front. They out there to say they marched and they protested. So to me, it's a real thing.
It's a line progressive whites won't cross. That line is given equity when it comes to economics. Progressive whites don't want to give up the ground when it comes to money. Look, Bernie Sanders is a perfect example of that. Progressive white, he loved to talk about how he marched with Dr. King, but at the same time, he's not with reparations. Right. So it's a line they won't cross.
And then
most of them ain't for reparations.
And then I was gonna say this, and at the end of the day, don't say this. They can stand up. They can stand in front of the line in front of the Black folks. Right. But when they wake up tomorrow, they still gonna be white. If all hell break loose, they still gonna be white. So, and I mean that's my problem with it. They still gonna be white.
So I just told the 40,000 viewers that are watching this, want everybody to know we have a collaboration show tonight with Truly Outspoken and Revolutionary Talk. We got these individuals in here because they are the real deal. Camille, you about to say something? We're a talk show. Sorry, I'm gonna be real too.
Everybody lost their throat.
Okay.
Kintu.
It's
okay, go ahead.
It's yeah, go ahead, Kintu.
What was the question?
I think we were picking
we were progressive white.
Yeah, so I would just you brought a good example with Bernie Sanders, right, saying how he
like talk about he's
very supportive of the Black community, but then there's a lot of Blacks who claim there's a lot of Black people who support reparations that actually support Bernie.
Exactly, but he don't support reparations.
Right. So let me ask you: there's a progressive white person who claims to be progressive. Do they have to support all those issues that support us?
That's white.
Well, nobody's going to 100% support anything. I know there's some Blacks who don't support some Black issues too. It's exactly, and which is why there are Black people who support him still, because we know that in politics we're not going to get everything we want out of a politician. Right. But reparations is a huge deal for Black people, because look at what's going on now with Biden considering giving that money to the immigrants, and you can't tell us we can't get no goddamn check.
He talking about giving $450,000 per person that was separated from their
family. But they told Black people that they don't have the money for reparations.
Well, first of all, let me say about with Biden. Biden ain't the only one that's saying it. There's a lot of Black people in Congress that are supporting him, right, and these are people that we elected.
I ain't let them.
I sure didn't.
Well, I mean, majority of black people supported them to go and speak on our behalf, but then they're still over here caping like, no, black people, y'all don't need to support. We don't need reparations. And I'm really disappointed in the black community who say we don't need reparations, because I really don't understand why you would say we do not need reparations.
So let me ask you guys this, going back to the economic piece, because I think that's a huge part of it. Okay, so there was a time where black folks didn't want to see, where white folks, I got that wrong, where white folks did not want to see black folks progress. They were saying that we were taking their jobs, we were becoming more educated, we were, like I said, moving to their neighborhoods, we were buying homes in their neighborhood because they didn't distrust us, they didn't like us. So today, in 2021, there are people who still feel it. You know, the redlining still takes place, right?
Mhm.
My question is, how does it benefit them economically to prevent us or our story from getting out? Does it mean that we have more, they'll get less, or there's more money for them to gain?
It's a sports cliche. They say the story is told by the winners.
Right.
So therefore, it's during slavery they used passages from the Bible,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, to hold us down and belittle us.
I think we still do.
If we don't know our past, if we don't know our past, we don't know where we came from, we don't know who we are, then how can we consciously disprove or fight back from what they're trying to put on us?
So how does us gaining prevent them from gaining more revenue? I'm thinking that we become
they
more
don't wanna share.
consumers.
If we gain, if we keep our dollar in our own communities, they do lose, because black
Yes.
people spend.
That's
Yeah.
what I
And
wanna hear.
we are some of the biggest spenders and biggest shoppers. So if we take our money and because our dollar doesn't that don't even really circulate once in our own communities,
Right.
but it circulates so many times in theirs. And if we take our money and we put it in our own communities, they're not gonna make as much money.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this, Jessica.
And also, before you go to that
I'm
next
sorry,
point,
go ahead.
also, when you don't know your history, you don't know who your enemy is too.
Facts.
So if you stop teaching these things, then you gonna have a generation of kids growing up not knowing who their enemy is.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, we got to be real about this. The dominant society people that done these things till they reconcile for what they did, still the enemy today. They haven't apologized. They haven't atoned.
Right.
They first we got to get an apology, and after apology, you got to atone, and atonement is reparation. So until all of these things are done, they are the enemy. At the end of the day, they done these things. We still POWs in the land.
Yeah.
We still POWs because we earn a slave wage and get these incentives for being captives. Doesn't change the fact they still our original enemy in this land until they atone for what they did. And that's why they want to remove the history, because they want a generation of kids not knowing who the enemy is.
So today,
Chaos and confusion.
okay, so going back to voting, right? Well, I'm not saying going back to voting, going into voting, right? We know that that 75-year law that was passed during the voter rights bill back in 65, I believe. During that bill, 75 year, it was 75, couldn't be 75 years because it expired. So I think it was like 45 years, right? So when it expired, now they're saying that they're trying to prevent us from having the right, making it easy for us to vote. Because they know that if we vote, that we're going to vote against them. So what about the competitive thing to where, this is something I heard some Democrats saying, that if you want our vote, compete for it like everyone else did. Don't just try to prevent us from voting. Get out there and do your job and earn our vote. So, and I forgot what the question I was going with this, but I'm trying to make a point. The point is the election is being suppressed. We know that, right? It's been suppressed for the past 20 years. We know that. Actually, a little bit beyond that. Why do you feel they're trying to suppress it? I mean, other than what I just said.
Because when Obama got elected, that scared the hell out of them. When we really exercised the black vote, when we really flexed,
right,
and they really saw it, that scared the hell out of them. They like, nah, this can't happen no more.
So,
Why are they scared
yeah.
for it? Because they got benefits. They still got benefits.
I was
But
just gonna say, I don't know why they was
because
scared.
because it's
I mean, it's evident that they were more, they
Because-
benefited more than we did. I mean, I can see
Exactly.
them thinking in the beginning, but now since you can look back in history, you can see that they got better benefits from Obama than they did from Biden or
I mean,
or
they
He wasn't in
did.
there. He wasn't in there putting on no cake for niggas.
thank you.
They did, but at the same time, but we chose that. They didn't choose that for us.
Okay.
And I'm saying this, and why? You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Yeah.
black people might feel we got it wrong that time, but what's the odds that we might get it right next time?
Because we got bamboozled.
We got bamboozled.
Well,
We got bamboozled
we
with
did
Obama.
wake up from that because
I don't think we did. We did it again with Kamala.
Well,
I don't think we woke up from that.
So
I don't really think that we had
I'm glad you said that. Where the hell
Where-
is Kamala?
Where is
Where
Kamala?
are
Where
you?
them Chucks and
Where the
Pearls
hell
at?
is Kamala?
Kamala is hidden.
So-
What I would say about it was again it's
Let's say the name,
the
I'm sorry, Kamala.
Kamala.
Whatever.
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 But where is
Whatever
she?
her damn name
If she
is.
Where is she?
if she came out more, we would know how to say her name. Period. So Kamala.
Wow.
What I would say, but it was again is those black it's the blacks that consider themselves as leaders is the ones that were pushing for Biden and Kamala.
Their leaders, the
The
boule.
So
Well,
those are the ones we gotta watch out for even now. For
So why we gotta watch out for them?
because
Because they're pushing like they want to push they pushing a different type of black society. You know, we got different cultures amongst us, even as a race.
Let's talk about this.
You have
Yeah.
the boule Negroes. You have the people who look down upon us because they, and some of them were born into, their money.
Oh, the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
supposedly.
the gatekeepers.
So for the people who
I-
don't know,
Mhm.
people who don't know, the viewers that are watching, explain what that group is, what they represent.
BS.
Rich black people.
Okay.
I would
Black
say
people with money
They represent BS.
who are trying to push a more what they may seem they call what y'all think black excellence is. I put it that way. What black people always hollering about black excellence when y'all see rich bougie uppity niggas and y'all holler black excellence, them boule niggas.
Okay.
I say that because we call that black excellence. However, these black people got the money,
Right.
they got the resources to come right over here and bring black excellence to the hood, but they don't. So where is the black excellence in that?
Thank you.
None. Because they stand over and separated. Because really and truly in reality, they looking down on regular niggas like you and me.
So as
I'm just
black
saying.
people, should we strive for black excellence?
We should strive for black
Yes.
excellence, but that does not mean we leave our brothers and our sisters
We ain't
behind
gotta
and still in the struggle.
we gotta
Just
pull
because I
people
become
down. Right.
excellent does not mean I look at you like, oh, she's from the ghetto.
Yes.
You know, I can't look at my brother and my sister like that. I don't care how much money I have. That's still my brother and my sister. Because those same boule people get reminded when they pulled over, they pulled me over in my Jaguar. Yeah, they did, because you was a nigga.
Okay. All right. That was good. That was
Period.
radical. I like that. That's
Yeah.
like that. So, Kintu, we kind of skipped over a little bit and kind of went into the election thing, right?
Yeah.
But I want to come back to this fear that white folks should have without history. And I'm hearing different stories as to why they shouldn't fear it, but it's a play on words. So the topic was a play on words, really. Should white folks fear black history?
They gonna always fear till they atone for what they done. Till they atone, they gonna always have fear in the back of their heads, in their souls,
Right.
because they know deep down what they have done. Until they have that, let go of that fear and guilt, they gonna have it to the end of times.
But all of them, I don't think all of them have guilt. Do they
Yeah.
really have guilt?
That was-
Or do they
They-
really feel guilty about what's going on? Because they inherited a privilege from
Right.
that. So
Right.
they're not guilty. No, they may not say that shit to our faces.
They guilty about.
but
They
they-
know where they.
They know where they stand.
They
I
know
feel
where they
like
got
that.
they.
They know where they got their wealth
guilty
from.
that
But
we
some
built
of them
this
are
country.
proud. They are proud of that. They
Yeah.
hide it with that Confederate flag. Or that means Southern pride. And that shit means white supremacy. And they know what it means.
Well,
They know what it means when they wave that flag around, even though they try to cover it up and sugarcoat it, put a sugar on shit, as some people like to say, and they say, well, this it just means Southern pride. No, because that is a flag that was created when they separated and they wanted to keep slaves.
Right.
So we know what that flag is. We know what it means.
And I'm glad you went there. It's no sense. They say it's Southern pride. When in America did we start celebrating losing? Because last time I checked,
They
the
lost.
Confederates lost. When did we start celebrating losing?
Is that because they holding on to that
None of us
slavery? They holding on to that.
Vietnam.
But then
Ain't none of us celebrating
that
Vietnam.
affected them too.
So
But
I went to
when
I went
it
to
did,
Ole
a lot of them
Miss.
went
I went to
broke.
Ole Miss.
That's what I'm saying.
They
So
used to
it
play.
doesn't make any sense to me. And then as far as with the
But
guilty,
they don't teach that. They don't teach that. A lot of slave owners, a lot of them, they put their eggs in one basket, slavery. And when slavery was over, a lot of people went, they became white trash.
They have hope because when I went to Ole Miss
That's exactly what happened.
at the football games, they will always play "The South Will Rise Again" at the games.
Mm.
The South, that's
Pathetic.
they don't play the song anymore in this new age.
Oh, they
But,
stopped. Okay.
but when I was at Ole Miss at the football game, they will always play the
That
song.
wasn't that long ago. When did they change that?
Oh man, I graduated in 2007, so it had to be like 2010 when they stopped playing
I
it.
say when they start
That ain't
pulling
that long ago.
when they
Yeah.
start pulling down them statues.
Yeah, and you know they changed the mascot. It used to be Colonel Rev as our mascot,
Right.
but now it's some I don't know, land shark now.
Interesting.
And we just recently changed our state flag.
Wow.
and then they're not guilty because they said that was the old generation. This ain't the new generation.
And that generation's still alive.
And going back to your
Why
question.
is that?
Do you know why I feel like why they want to suppress our history? Because it's like you said, they changed the mascots. They're making them pull down all these Confederate statues and all these.
Well, aren't that the blacks that's making them do that?
No, but think about this.
Okay.
I don't think it's just us. Some of us getting unnecessarily happy about the shit.
But
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
but check this out. So basically it done got to a point in society where it is no longer acceptable for them to celebrate, for them to celebrate all their deities of the Confederacy. So since they can no longer celebrate all their deities, they don't want to deal with race. They don't want to deal with racial theory, period, because they can no longer celebrate their deities.
Do
you think that they don't even know their own history?
Oh no, they know.
Oh, they know.
They know.
They know their history, and they know our history better than us.
Exactly. They know it better than us. They don't say that out loud. They know how to talk when they get around us. I don't put shit past white folk. They know what they doing. They know. They know beyond a shadow of a doubt.
They know the books.
Exactly. They know it. I was telling somebody, the other day is, they have a history of being deceitful. You got to imagine going all the way over there to Africa, becoming nice, friendly, and buddy enough to get them people on them damn ships. They got a history of being deceitful. Just like they do that. Just like they culture appropriate now, because we, as Black people, trying to be genuine, trying to say, oh, well, we're not like them. We're not evil like them. So we let them in our culture. Next thing you know, boom, they making millions off some shit we done created.
So what about the Black parents? The Black parents that are okay with that piece of history being withheld.
It's gonna always be some Black people that's okay with it,
right?
Because you always got your token Negroes. And you don't have to be bootleg to be a token nigga. Right. You can be just a brainwashed Negro.
Just don't know nothing.
Just don't know. You just don't know.
You don't know nothing.
You in the sunken place.
Because some Blacks are saying, why do we need to put it in there if it could be offensive to some people if we don't want people defending us?
What is being
offensive? Because that's that white proximity shit. You want to be. Oh, I'm not bad like white people. Or right. Oh, well, why can't we all get along? Being now, I'm gonna say what some Black people would say. This don't fall for me. When they say, we can all be. Being pro-Black don't mean anti-white. That means a lot of that for me. For me, it's anti-white because whiteness is why we in the situation we in right now. So you're damn right, it's anti over here. And what I mean by anti-white, I mean because whiteness is it's a culture of oppression. So you got to get rid of it, and you got to dismantle it and break it all the way down in order for us to have our true freedom. You can't sit up here and excuse small things that they do, because the small thing is, if we let this go, it's going to turn into something major. And as a parent, I cannot excuse you telling my child that her history does not matter because your little white lily white daughter is offended because her ancestors was garbage. That's not my problem.
Can I say something?
Is there a different
I'm sorry,
definition of
Camille.
anti-white?
Yeah.
Now anti-white is just anti-white to me.
Well,
I don't
it's,
know one
well,
definition.
I'm a hit at that. I'm glad she said something because the conversation me and my daughter had, and she said, say calling yourself white, saying this is directly, it's oppression and slavery. And then she brought up something I thought about this. Caucasians that are from Ireland call themselves Irish. If they're from Italy, they call themselves Italian.
Right.
The only white folks that call themselves white are Caucasians from America.
I see. So they don't trace it back to their own nationality.
And then two.
Well, they call themselves Italian Americans. They call themselves, Irish Americans.
Well, white
not now.
Even Jewish
They
Americans.
try to when you call them something else.
but whiteness is not
10% Italian.
but whiteness not a race though. Whiteness is a privilege. Anybody can be initiating into whiteness. Your
I'm sorry.
Hispanic
Say that one more time. You said whiteness is not a
race. It's
No,
privilege.
okay.
It's a privilege. Hispanic people have got initiated into the white club now. So
Depends on which country
They
they're from.
think
it don't
Depends
matter.
on
It
the
don't matter what
And
country.
they try to practice.
It don't matter
they
what
think they
country.
have.
No,
I
I
don't
mean,
feel like they
they
have.
have
They
the same
think they have.
colorism and oppression within.
Yeah, they have a colorism issue in
Yes.
their own community. So yes, he's absolutely right about that. They have been initiated into
Whiteness.
whiteness.
And the number one rule into whiteness is you gotta feel like and think you're above the black. That's the only requirement.
What about some of the people
I don't
from-
really feel like they've been initiated.
Oh yeah, they been initiated. They feel like the census said they white.
They feel like it, but I just.
I mean, of course, white folks gonna betray them in the end.
That's what I said. That's why I
But-
feel like
but-
they're not.
but
They're
if
using them. They
They're
think they're
using them.
getting
They gotta align
Right.
with an ally, and that's how they feel. But and it's I don't think that that's anything new because there's always been a colorism issue or that type of issue in the Hispanic community, and you can kind of see it when you depending on the type of Hispanic that you're dealing with. You can feel like,
Yes.
oh, she ain't.
They'll tell
one
you.
of them. And they will.
They will
They'll
tell
let
you.
know.
They'll let
Can
you
I hit
know.
y'all with a random question though? It's curious that's going on with all of this. Okay, it's you know what I'm saying that critical race theory, all that is a problem and all that, and they're getting rid of that. They want to suppress our past. Why do we have all these Holocaust museums?
Well, I know about one in DC.
Why not? You know what I'm saying is because the Holocaust took place in Europe.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying a lot of people feelings are hurt about the Holocaust. So why
That's
do
a
we
good
have
point.
all of these Holocaust
That's a good
museums
point.
here in America?
That's a
And the
good point.
Holocaust did not take place here in America,
They were
but
paid
they
by
have
America
problem.
too.
But
But they
nobody's
have
offended.
problem with slavery museums. Now, the
Nobody.
big problem we have now
There's
is
no
we have
problem with
Holocaust
that
museums.
history either. People want to talk about it. But one thing the Jews are doing is they're fighting for that history. They're fighting
But that's
for
not part of
Well,
American
I
history.
understand.
Well, you gotta understand where the power lies.
Right.
Like
That's
they
what it
have the
is.
power.
That's
They
it.
have the
Fact.
they have the power.
That's what I wanted to get to.
And once we learn how to build with each other and get power, then we can start forcing demands on this country as we want. But we not putting ourselves together to have power.
Why
I
aren't-
mean, but
They
it's,
have their own land,
Well, I wanna-
and
but
they
the
were
thing about it-
reparated.
Yeah, but I want to know what you
Got
guys
money.
think about that. Why aren't we? Why don't we have that power?
Oh, that's a big question.
I know.
That's a lot.
And I think
to
I-
it.
before y'all, somebody
That's a whole nother
Because-
podcast.
because
Yeah, I'm about
every-
to say that's a
No,
It's a
lot.
whole nother
I mean,
show.
because
show.
every time we've tried to exercise that power, they've dropped the bomb on it.
So we're all saying
Rosewood,
they. Who's the they?
Black Wall Street.
White people.
Okay, but hold up.
And some blacks.
We are right now. We are almost 16% of the population. We're still one of the smaller groups next to the Asians. We're one of the smaller groups, but we have power. We have infrastructure. Black folks have infrastructure in this country. We own land. We own businesses. We're in politics. Why can't we gain that power? Why can't we rule in specific
My
areas?
quickest
Yes.
answer for you, some of those black people that are in politics, that are in power, they want to be, and I say it all the time,
Inclusive.
white proximity. They want to be in proximity to whiteness.
They're afraid
They
of
want to
losing.
be inclusive.
Yeah.
They want to be, they do not want, they want to be accepted by white people. Even some people that don't have that power, you can tell. The quickest example I use, as soon as somebody white say something on our side and like of us, We forget about all the Negroes that's been
Right.
saying the shit for
Right.
50 years.
Right.
And we be like, so-and-so was invited to the cookout. Shit, ain't no more room for us at the cookout the way these niggas handing out plates.
You know what?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, they like us. And that's where a lot of Black people want to be. That's one
So
theory.
we're
Another
concerned about being
theory is
accepted than standing out.
they sell out. They being paid
Sell
out.
outs. Okay.
You know, it's a lot of reasons for why that's going on.
They want to be accepted, and it's crazy because you're not accepted. But at the end of the day, like sometimes I do like to post what white people have to say, because it's like, how are you as my brother supposed to be my brother's sister against me, and then you hear this white person that is agreeing with everything that we have to say. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's there, the evidence is there. But go ahead. What you
Oh,
gonna
no,
say?
I like the post, but you still ain't coming to the cookout.
No, I agree. No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't invite you. I didn't invite you to
Yeah.
the cookout, but I just like to.
Thank you. And it's gonna stop right there.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Period.
I just like to show Black people, like there are white people who will admit to this, and I don't understand why Black people just can't align themselves with better white people who at least can see that there's some.
Well, I don't think Jessica's gonna agree with that one. I think Jessica.
I mean, to each his own. I ain't gotta line myself with him at all. But to each his own.
Right.
I mean,
But if you gonna do it, at least align with
Do it
some
with the
that
right
have,
intentions.
yeah,
Right.
with the correct intentions.
Right.
But
That's all I'm saying.
if that's your choice, do it with the people that have the correct intentions. But as for me and my house,
But all this,
And when I say align, I mean when I say align, because we're not as big as a group as everyone's, we will have to do some business with white people.
that's true.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not necessary that I got to go to all your events. All I'm just saying is there's enough white people out there that actually understand where we're coming from. And I always see Black people going to these racist white folks. And I'm just like, why don't y'all at least align with somebody who can see where we're coming from?
that's why I brought up, the Jewish thing earlier. They don't align with nobody. They don't protest. They don't march. You don't see them putting no posts. What you see them happen, it was Nick Cannon said something they ain't like. All of a sudden,
Baby, he
you
was
see
off
Nick Cannon, he just disappeared from television. They ain't say nothing.
That shit,
they ain't issue no
that
statements.
shit said wild and out,
nothing.
and it was damn fresh
It was gone.
bricks on the TV.
But
They were just gone.
Because they control
I'm
them.
about to say,
I mean, but
How
they
they
don't.
control that network?
But they come together. They don't align themselves with
But
nobody.
how did they
come
build
We don't
together.
like to
How did-
sacrifice.
They
though.
come
I'm about to say,
together.
how did they build that though?
So let me go back a little bit.
We want
We
sacrifice.
can't even
Okay,
talk. I don't even know we could talk about that on the air.
I grew up in Chocolate City, Washington, D.C. At the time, it was 83 to 85% African American. Huge city, Black folks. The teachers in the schools, I'm saying in inner city schools, D.C. inner city schools, what they call them. The teachers in the schools, they were like 80% of those. 80% of the teachers were Jewish. I was brought up and raised and educated by Jews. By the time I got to Howard University, there was a lot of Black professors in there, but there was a lot of Jewish ones and lots from Asia. So what I'm saying is that's when I really got exposed to what it's like to be taught by Black people, because the message is different. The message is different. But those Jews aligned themselves with our culture at that time. In a Black city, you had no choice. So the reason they were in the Black schools is because they didn't get hired to work in the white schools. The other privileged schools that were up in Northwest and Washington, D.C., they couldn't get those jobs. They were also working in the poor. I was born in D.C. General Hospital, which was a poor person's hospital in the city. It was a welfare hospital. That's why all the poor, a lot of us are poor in D.C. Most of those doctors in it were very, very brilliant Jewish doctors. I knew just by the name they were Jewish. When I look back now, and I see some of the people that were there, and some of the halls in the hospital, some of the major surgeons that did all the major stuff. These were Jewish doctors. They couldn't get jobs in the big hospitals. So I think, and I get what you guys are saying they didn't align themselves with anybody because they got caught up. So here I am, even though I understand the Black plight at this point now, because now we become more awakened by it, of who we are in our history and the thing and the oppression that were having us, they decide we're gonna remain neutral. We're gonna stay out of it. Now, would it benefit us if they did take a stand and support us like they kind of did back then? Or do you feel they kind of, I think, honestly, in some ways, I think they're kind of right for stepping back.
We need to learn to do the same.
That's what I was trying to get to.
We don't do that as Black
thing?
people,
Right.
because we too busy trying to create allies, and then when it's our turn, we don't have them when we truly need them. Because at the end of the day, I know white people stepped up from George Floyd, but keep in mind, while George Floyd was going on, we still had other issues that we still battling. Flint still don't have clean water. You still got people
I
that
agree. I agree.
Sandbranch still don't have water. So
Right.
you know, we still have black issues and black towns and black cities that are being forgotten. And the reason why I do not, I don't care that they was on the front line of George Floyd. That was a hot topic.
Right.
And that's all I saw. It's hot. The cameras out, y'all moving, but where are y'all when them cameras get shut off? We are still standing alone, and we need to learn that when other cultures are calling on us to be their allies, we need to learn to mind our business, because everybody else is minding theirs.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's how I felt when they were having Asian hate crimes. I know what I'm saying, I felt bad for what was going on, but don't ask us to align with that cause.
I didn't feel bad.
Because I felt bad for the loss of
you know
life.
How rude they are to us?
No, but I'm saying this.
Dirty though.
But here, I felt bad for the loss of life, not for them. Because it's, no, I'm saying this. When we out here struggling, 45, 95 nails.
You know, it's funny you say that.
Because we support them. I mean,
exactly.
when I say I don't feel bad, it's like I don't want anything to happen to anybody that they don't deserve. Let me put that out there. Yeah. Anybody. Yeah. When I say I don't feel bad, it's kind of difficult for me to have sympathy from a group that has been so negative and rude toward us after all the support we have done through them throughout
the Asian nail shop on every corner.
Okay,
so would I start a beef with an Asian? No. Do I really think that a lot of black people are out there causing issues towards Asians? No. But I do feel like they cause more issues towards us than we do towards them.
So let me ask you guys something. Okay, back on 9/11, right? When the towers came down, they were interviewing people in New York. I knew this woman had money. You could just tell by the way she looked. She had a big fur coat. She had on earrings. You can tell the makeup, the hair. Black woman. Black woman made a statement and said they needed to send all those nigger. She didn't say nigger. No, she said nigger, but she said nigger Arabs and Muslims back to their country.
I was saying niggers.
So,
saying that's
do we have a right? Do we have a right, from all the suffering we've gone to jeopardize, to criticize a whole nation of people because pretty much I think that if we do that, then we're doing what the whites did to us. They categorized us and put us in a certain category in a box, and kept us there. And they kept us in this stereotypical thing to saying that we can't say that all Muslims are like that. We know that for sure. Yeah. Matter of fact, most of the ones I know are peaceful people, right? They want peace and harmony. Whether they're black, white, or Asian, doesn't matter. All of them are, the faith is about peace. So now I'm not a practicing Muslim at all. Yeah. But what I'm saying is for that black woman to say that on national television, and the white folks love it.
Of course they did. Of course they did. She black and being ignorant on TV.
There you go.
I want to touch on that. We have to keep in mind that a lot of us as black people, we were born in this shithole. Right. So therefore, we were taught by this shithole, and we are carrying on this shithole's values. Right. So a lot of black people do not align. They align with American values. They align with that type of behavior. Majority of us ain't woke. We're not conscious of what's going on. Right. Majority of us be like, oh, Black Lives Matter, and turn right back around. We doing the same thing they doing. We cutting it on and cutting it off because, like I said, this is society that raised us. So we have to go back into a level of consciousness, and we have to go on. It has to be a whole new rethinking, reteaching of black people. Of course she said something like that because her views, again, are aligned with whiteness, with white supremacy. That's what raised her. That's what raised a lot of us. And she was also, not only that, she was a bully. So I mean, you got that on top of that. So I mean, she was uppity.
Too many black people are too busy criticizing other black people versus trying to help black people.
Every day.
They quick to throw down if somebody ain't perfect or doing it right. They're quick to put it out there in the air. But if you ask them for assistance, okay, where was the conversation first before you put it out there? Right.
They want to charge you. Go to my YouTube channel at $29.99. They want to charge you for the education. They charge you for credit repair. They charge you to tell you how to go get your LLC.
Hey, I don't know entrepreneurship. I think it's a great thing.
I think it's a great thing.
But you can be an entrepreneur and then you can take it too far where you're your prices are too expensive. And you know good and well the
Some of them
majority.
are there's some damn scammers now.
That's
Let's call
it.
them what they are.
Yeah.
That's
They
nothing.
scamming. Some people out here scamming. Now you know when somebody trying to teach you some basics in the class, and that class costs $200 for some basic information that you can look up. Scam. That's a scam. You know, it's a lot of people out here getting because that's what we own that. Black people own that. Oh, let's get the bag, get the bag,
Yeah.
get the bag, get the bag. And at the same time,
Let's go
and
get
I
some Louis
want
Vuitton
to
that we
say
don't
this
own.
because we are forgetting, you know, the sacrifice you have to make to get the bag. How often do you see your kids if you chasing the bag? How often do you spend time with your family if you chasing the bag? How often do you sleep? How often do you rest? What about your peace of mind? We can't turn around and talk about mental health in the Black community and how we need to fix mental health, but everybody chasing money. Chasing money can drain you.
Well, you know,
I mean, it is.
but if you accept
but
the
it's
role,
how they chasing it though.
But
It's how they chasing
chasing it.
Is they see the bag, all they worry about is the bag. They're not worried about the process. They're not worried about what they need to know, who they need to know. They just worried about the
They
bag.
don't care who they hurting in the process.
But the process still hard.
Yeah.
Even getting money.
Well,
This is America.
I can tell you,
Getting rich is
I
hard.
can tell you this, just being
Unless you're born in it.
there are some things that really appear ugly when it comes to business. Because, you know, you can just completely remove all feelings from the issue when you deal with it because it's money. It's about commerce. It's about buying goods and services for profit. Capitalism, right? So what I'm saying is it can appear on the surface, but the individual, like I'm an entrepreneur, you know what I mean? So I don't look at this business as everything is involved around making money because in that case, we're fucking rich right now. We ain't. So what we have done is decided to create opportunities for people who wouldn't otherwise have a voice. So, and that's what we're doing. So, and it ain't free. You know what I'm saying? It's costing me something. It's costing me. So what I tried to do is just try to break even. I know I can't do it anymore because I got to make profit because people expect me money. But anyway, the bottom line is, you know, and you guys touched on some really good points tonight. And the bottom line is coming together, working together. Can there be another Black Wall Street, right? Or maybe we should call it something else. I don't know. But I think there can, where Black people can come together, support Black business, and the Black people who are exploiting it, because I go way back to when FUBU was out. FUBU was completely exploiting us with their prices. They knew we were in demand for it, right? White folks done it to us already. Now, I can sit back and say from a business perspective, do I have a problem with the guy trying to make money? With the brothers, the men? No, I don't have a problem with making money. You know, and should we be discounted because we're Black folks? I don't agree with that either. No. But I think that we should be competitive to the point to where, you know, and we're thinking about the business and who our customers are. You know, I can't charge. I know when it comes to certain Black folks who may not have the money, like smaller businesses, I can't charge them the full rate of what I would charge for a video service. I can't do that. I have to make an adjustment. That's not just for Black folks. It is people who have small business based on their income levels. For some of those bigger companies, I'm going all out.
Yeah.
But
You know
you're willing to do it, and then there are other nationalities that provide discounts to their groups. Right. I don't think there's an issue with providing. Right. I don't think there's an issue with providing discounts to just because you're Black. You can go about it the way other nationalities do it.
But if we know 90% of our customers,
it shouldn't be an expectation.
I don't think it's an expectation for everybody. But I'm just saying if you're in a predicament or in a position where you're able to, then you know. But I don't even mind that Black people just. I don't know. Just like she said, some fees are just just unreasonable.
I mean, they are, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, is you can't walk up to me with a Balenciaga belt on and then ask me for a discount. I'm gonna be looking smart.
I mean,
one of us crazy.
Because they buying a Balenciaga because it's Balenciaga, and that's what it is. Because it's the name, and it's the brand. It's the brand, and again, that's whiteness because those are white-owned brands. That stuff they see white people wearing. They want to be like the rich white folks on TV.
But actually, it's the Black people that are the ones making it popular.
It is because it's not. Well, hold on now, because even though that's what we see in our community, white folks buy just the same.
I mean,
they just ain't gotta necessarily stunt. Right. But if you go on social media and you know you might tap into some white pages, they out there doing that. You know, they out there, look at my new Gucci
But
Prada
they
bag.
really
and
can
this,
afford
da,
it
da, da.
though.
They can,
They can
they can
afford
afford it. And
They
some,
put
but
them in
some of them
the
can't. It's a lot of fake rich white folks
Yeah.
out there.
Right.
It's a lot of
There is-
it's a lot of white folks scamming. But they not.
They don't
We
snitch
don't.
on it.
They don't. Exactly. They don't snitch on each other.
Yeah.
We were
So-
snitching on people for
Yes.
PPP loans.
All right, so,
Man.
okay, people, you know, so this was a great show. I can't believe the hour is gone already.
I thought you said it would be out there.
Well, I didn't say that. But it still costing me, so. But look, I want to thank all of you guys for being here. I think both of these shows coming together for this one particular topic.
No doubt.
And actually, we had more than one topic. We had like 18. So I would like to do this again if you guys are open to it, because I think there's a lot more to talk about. But in closing, I'd like to start with you, Lucky. Give us something positive, man. Take us out.
Give us something positive. Hey, you woke up this morning, the sun is shining, and guess what? Hey, do it. I mean, do what you need to do. Be confident in yourself and push forward.
There you go. There you go. Jessica. take us
Shit, we
out.
black. Hell, ain't nothing better than that.
Ain't nothing better than that.
Kintu.
Man, all I can say is let's just keep working, coming together. If we come together and put our heads together, then everything's gonna be all right.
My buddy over here in the corner, right in the front. Closing remarks.
I'll say two things. Hashtag stay ready and hashtag be blessed.
Hey,
There we go. So we got revolutionary talk
Revolutionary.
and
Thank
truly
you.
outspoken. I'm sorry, I'm going to mention Brandon. Revolutionary talk and truly outspoken, two dynamic shows. You can see them right here at KMWI Media Studios. Please tune in. Actually, go to our website. You see the calendar, see the schedule. Okay, so thank you guys for coming on. I look forward to working with you guys in the next several years and do some great things in the community. I will see you guys back here at KMWI Media Studios when we schedule, so people stay tuned.